Like, if we ever do interstellar travel, like,
Mhm.
how will mapping work? Just curious
I
how
don't
that's going
know.
to happen.
This one little girl, and this is why I love imagination this way, had asked me and like another coworker of mine at Griffith before of like, if we ever left the Milky Way, how would we
Oof.
find our way back? And I'm like,
You know?
we can't. How do
Yeah.
we distinguish that galaxy from all the billions around, or, you know, you expand out further, billions around
Yeah.
it? You can't. You even leave our solar system. How the fuck? And we're in the Milky Way. How would we
Yeah.
find our way back? There's no like signs like go left for Earth and
Yeah.
Sun, solar system. Like, you can't. It'll all blur together in the end.
I wonder if all the work with dark energy and dark matter and all that, if there's going to be certain signatures where we can actually hone in on very specific locations because that's adding additional data sources.
I know.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
that might help.
If like most of the universe, like we say, is made of dark energy, and then the second is dark matter, but like shit we can't see or interact with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what if it has really unique signatures that help us
Then that would be cool.
travel?
Once we even get to the point where that's detectable.
I mean,
All
dark
this
energy.
shit is still even just theoretical at this point.
I mean, in my opinion, dark energy is the key, right? Because that's the thing that's actually like moving.
It is moving.
Right?
With
So
force,
it's like you could
invisible
like
force.
surf on that, dude. You know what I mean? You literally can move faster. Well, not faster than the speed of light through space, technically.
You're just space is expanding. It's
just
okay.
ride
People,
it.
people have brought that up before. Space expanding faster than the speed of light? It's like yes and no because they're
Oh,
two.
yeah, so it
they're
depends.
two different measurements.
Yeah.
Acceleration versus
Where are
just
you?
like speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're having like meters per second versus just meters per second. So you're not really comparing apples to apples.
And it also depends on how far out the thing you're comparing your own speed to is.
Yeah.
So the farther out it goes, the faster than light it's looking. But if it's super close, then no. So it's like
yeah. So it's
so many
It's
elements
like
of
yes and no.
depends.
Space can expand, but it is also an expansion rate. So it's literally two different measurements. So it's tough to say. But it's a really amazing idea though.
I want them to figure the dark energy out
I
so
know.
that we can like
actually traverse the universe.
that would be cool if you could.
Yeah.
Using that.
But you're right. I don't know if one day we could find markers to be like, yes, that's Milky Way there. Somehow they do it in Star Wars
There's
to be
gotta
like,
be.
yeah.
Oh, they use
This
the
planet.
force.
Yeah, which is like dark energy. We'll call
Which-
it that, but somehow they can identify
Dune
what's
is
what.
like that too. Where basically everybody just gets high and that's how they travel the universe.
There you go. It's just
Like-
and then you find out in the end it's just in their minds.
It is. Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
is like they get high off the spice
Yeah.
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they turn into these giant slug things.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then-
not familiar with the franchise at all. So weirdly,
I
I'm like
tried
one of the few
reading it.
people who never really got into it.
Dune
but,
is horribly written, but it is from a storytelling perspective a brilliant idea.
sure.
It's just how the writing style is absolutely terrible. It is
Mm.
so boring. I am a heavy reader. I read all genres, do not care.
Yeah.
It could be a coloring book and I'm into it, you know?
Yeah.
And that book to me, Children of Dune, I tried to get through and I was like,
Yeah.
just couldn't do it. It was so bad.
Oh damn.
It was so fucking
And
bad.
the movies are supposed to be great though, and I say that just because, guys, I haven't watched them, but I have met the writer a few times.
They're so
John,
good.
I don't know how to say his last name. It starts with an S, but I'm like, well, you're pretty brilliant. I mean, he also wrote or maybe co-wrote Prometheus, and that movie gets hated on, but I liked it.
I don't really like
The
that
Alien
movie.
prequels. I like the concept. I thought it was fun. At least it's thinking outside of the box. And then I didn't like Covenant at all. It's fun, but it's so stupid.
Covenant?
It was a sequel to Prometheus.
Oh, I
That
don't think I
takes
saw it
place
because
before
there's
Alien.
the Covenant, which is like a witchy fucking.
Oh, yeah.
with
Nah.
the dude from The Expanse. Actually, the lead from The Expanse was in
The
lead
Covenant.
for The Covenant.
This is just Covenant.
Yeah.
Prometheus sequel.
That movie. Why did I just remember the scene of them all standing on a cliff and they're looking at like some bonfire teenage party. They're like, let's crash this.
Let's
and they
crash.
jump off
And then
the
it all
cliff.
goes to hell. Yeah, I've never heard of
So-
The Covenant.
It's so.
but Covenant.
I actually really loved that movie when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, whenever it came out. Can't remember.
Yeah, I'm
Because I
not
liked the
familiar with
idea
it.
of like their power faded fast. And I kind of liked that idea of like, oh, they don't have unlimited power. This isn't the Marvel universe. Like they have to play this game of how much do I want to age
Yeah.
and how often am I going to use this? And I thought that was cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. And it's the Expanse guy.
There you go. Currently,
awesome.
I'm reading. I finished Project Hail Mary,
Hell
guys.
yeah.
Incredible book, incredible, even more so audiobook. Highly recommend. Posted my collab video for them, and I'm genuinely excited because it's a fantastic book. So moved on. Now I'm reading Three Body Problem. I like it. Some
yeah.
people like it more than Project Hail Mary. I do not so far. I think it's
the writing
fascinating.
style's different.
Very different. And
Yeah.
like I'm just used to more of a storytelling kind of thing because of all my years in Hollywood, which is
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary versus
Yeah.
this being a bit more, it's just various characters at various times, but really imaginative and good. It's just not my kind of storytelling.
I will say my least favorite books are the ones where the POV changes every chapter. I actually really hate that. I don't know how I got through Game of Thrones, but you finish a chapter and you have to reshift your brain into the new
someone
character.
Else's, yeah, because every chapter is someone's POV.
Hate that.
Yeah.
That is my least favorite thing. I totally don't mind if I get through 3 books and then like
Now
first
we're
half of the
somebody
4th book
else.
somebody else and like that's hard to do. I've never seen anyone do it well, to be perfectly honest.
Sure.
But like the moment I see that there's gonna be multiple POVs, I'm like, out.
No, for
Done.
sure. It is. It's such a
done.
weird device of way to tell a story because, like, ultimately it has to come
Yeah.
down to you caring about characters. So if you're constantly switching, it's just hard to really give a shit.
I don't think you can really get invested. Because people think differently and you want to be invested into the way they think. So when a problem does affect the character, you're inside the character's head and you can anticipate how they're going to do it and why, and everything makes sense. But if you've shifted into a new character, you're like, oh, what are they gonna? I don't know. Then you're lost. And I don't know.
You're essentially starting over each time, and then it does actually. It takes you out. You feel like you are looking at it from the top down versus like being immersed in the world.
Yeah.
Versus like someone's specific point of view.
Why not do third person omniscient then? Which is also pretty rare. I feel like I don't read a lot of books like that anymore. I feel like that was big in like the 80s or something. But then do third person omniscient. If you really, okay, great. So then the narrator knows what everybody's thinking, and you don't have to jump back and forth because the narrator knows what everybody's thinking.
Right.
Just do that.
Do that.
That one's probably hard to do well. Wasn't Catcher in the Rye third person omniscient? There's a famous book that's third person.
I read that years ago. I cannot remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I would not be able to tell you, girl.
I have read so many books and I'm like, and they're going.
I have not.
Really?
So, I mean, like, what we had to read in high school and stuff.
Oh, sure,
I'm trying to, and then, most of the shit I read over the past, like, decade has just been writing, acting. Only now getting back into more so fiction. But Project Hail Mary, absolutely love. And Three Body Problem, I like it. I like the ideas it's trying to introduce, which is funny because we were going to talk about chaos theory and Three Body Problem is a big part of it. Well,
there's like a big...
It comes from that. So for those who don't know, I'm going to try to sum up Three Body Problem the best I can. So you see the physics of our solar system, Newton's 3 laws of motion, right? It's very stable. Earth goes around the sun. That works because it's literally two bodies. And the moon doesn't count. Like, fuck it. It's fine. It's revolving around us. Yeah, like we're good. The moon, sorry, even though it is a third body in this, it's fine. It doesn't affect anything. You literally introduce a third body with a lot of mass, like Jupiter per se. This is what now, so Jupiter, the Earth, and the sun, known as a restrictive 3-body problem, because Jupiter has an effect on us gravitationally.
Yes.
But it's not going to fuck us up where it'll throw our system into chaos anytime soon. Because even the way it tugs on us eventually cancels out all the chaos that it's introducing. So our solar system is actually pretty stable. And it's interesting because wondering how rare that is. So 3-body is, let's say you have 3 bodies that are similar mass and size, like 3 stars. That is an unstable system. You have no idea how that's going to be chaotic over time. And it starts with 3-body. You add any more bodies, it just adds to the chaos.
And, well, I mean, technically in mathematics, it's called the n-body problem.
Oh, yeah, because you substitute any number into it.
Yeah, it's just the book has made...
It chose
3. Yeah, but it is n technically.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Literally,
it can be any number.
Anything above 2 is going to cause some absolute... chaos. It's going to be unpredictable. And but you look at most of what the universe is, star clusters all over the place, thousands of stars.
Well, most systems are binary star systems.
Most systems
so
are
right
binary.
away you got a 3-body system.
Yes, that's right.
2 stars plus whatever planet you're focusing on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Which, Star Wars, that was Luke's home planet orbiting 2 stars. Yeah. But I think what I had heard online, and I swear I think I got this from Neil deGrasse, so... It's not my words, y'all. It's not my example, but I'm just reiterating. His planet orbited around 2 similar sized stars, but that planet is far enough from these 2 stars that you could almost see them as one gravitational body.
Oh, yeah, there's a central point that the 2... Yeah. I've heard it, but it's a fictional, so who frickin' knows?
Yeah, but so even though it is a 3-body issue with 2 stars and 1 planet, it's almost negligible because his planet was far enough that these 2 stars were close enough that they were almost like one body. Because technically, too, even ours... Earth and Moon doesn't fully revolve around us. We have what's written in my book called a barycenter, where it's like our center of gravity between the 2 of our bodies is like 3/4 of the way outside of Earth's radius. So if the Earth, dot at the center.
We'll put a
its
thingy
center
here.
of gravity,
Yeah.
exactly, thank God, will be like 2/3 of the way outward from the center of the Earth. And so the Earth and the moon orbit technically that spot.
You're just going to be fingering the picture, which I'm going to have to put
Yeah,
right
just
there. Otherwise, we're
just put the picture.
we're just like...
There's a lot of great Barry Center examples out there of Earth and moon revolving around that one specific spot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's essentially the 3-body problem. You add a third body into a system. It's just essentially kind of chaos. We can't predict what it'll do however many millions of years into the future.
To add on to that, because there is a mathematics perspective of it, that the n-body problem is under the branch of chaos theory, which chaos theory was like one of my favorite things in school.
No, it's so fun because it's so imaginative.
It was so fun. And the first time I heard it, obviously, I was like 9, Jurassic Park, when what's his face's character was trying to talk about chaos theory in the most elementary way, but it was still fun. So the thing with chaos theory is, technically, even Earth, the moon, and the sun are considered a chaotic system, a dynamic system. So what happened, I think it was there was a paper written in like 2009, but I think the study was like decades prior, but it was somebody plugging in a simulation of our solar system and then predicting, I don't know, like 1,000 years out or something where stuff was going to be. And there was a 2% chance that Mercury would become like a completely elongated path and could collide with Earth, collide back into the sun. It was crazy. And so he was like, well, that can't be right, right? Because how can there even be a 0.001% chance that this is going to happen? And that was kind of one of the first real clear examples, I think, for the public at least to understand it, of anytime you have any 3 bodies, doesn't even matter what role they play, it is part of chaos theory, and there is a slim chance that it could all go to shit.
For sure.
It's just, our solar system, probably not, but there's that 2% chance that Mercury does.
Exactly.
Which is absolutely insane. I mean, chaos theory is also in weather, which is one of my favorite things ever. Chaos theory is so cool. It's essentially predicting the future.
Yeah, or at least it's trying to.
It could.
So it's like...
It could if we had cracked it.
Yeah.
We would be able to... Because, like, when does it stop? Could you predict every neuron and how it fires in your brain?
Right.
And then you could predict free will.
Yeah, fascinating. So it applies to everything.
Pretty much. Any dynamic system, which is
That's
like
so crazy.
Most stuff. So a non-dynamic system would be like, I have a ball here and I throw it. It's going to land in a very specific spot. But the weather, there's too many variables and they're too sensitive to initial conditions.
Yeah.
Whereas me throwing a ball, it's like...
Right.
It's going to land where it's going to land.
Yeah.
Dynamic systems are so fascinating. And
Totally.
I'm like, one day we're going to crack this. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure the quantum world is going to have some input there.
Sure.
And then I do think, this is interesting about free will, I do think chaos theory is a player in neurological synapses in your brain. I don't even think people are random. There's a big difference between random and chaos.
Sure.
Right? Random is an illusion.
Okay.
There is no such thing as random. Probably the quantum world has a lot of arguments, but on a mathematical standpoint, random's not real. It's just it seems that way. And then chaos theory, there is something happening. We just don't know what because there's too much.
Yeah.
There's too many variables. So for weather, what would be really cool, actually, no. I'm going to say for neurological synapses, what would be really cool is if chaos theory could be solved and every neuron in your brain could be tracked, right? Any decision you make would be predictable. So even if you were trying to be not predictable, you would be predictable in your unpredictability.
Sure.
And then it comes down to like, what is free will? And I'm like, I don't know if it exists because in the world of chaos theory, everything does have a predetermined path. You just don't know what it is yet because you don't know all the variables.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Matrix, that was the best line in the Matrix.
Right.
When Keanu Reeves' character, hey, I knew an actor. When Neo was like, what if I change my mind? How can you know the future? And how do you know my decisions? And the Oracle or whatever is like, you've already made the decision. You just don't know what it is yet. And you don't know why. And that is chaos theory in a nutshell.
Theory.
Yeah, it's like, you've already made the decision.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, you don't know the outcome of what it'll produce. Yeah, fascinating.
So I do think that the future will be predictable to some extent at some point if chaos theory is ever cracked.
Yeah.
But then I think everybody will have an existential crisis because if that is applied to AI, every decision you make is going to be predictable even when you're trying to be unpredictable.
Yes.
And I think everybody's going to crash out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So,
they're giving up control. That's not inherent in us at all. We would lose our fucking minds.
It's not you losing control. It's just something knowing what you're going to do. Because you were always going to do it. It's just now there's an algorithm
matter, girl.
to predict
knowing that somebody can something or like an AI can predict it, even if
Yeah.
we are inherently doing it,
Yeah.
that's still like people aren't going to be able to cope with that shit.
That's why I believe in the closed loop time theory, where there are no multiverses or whatever, and it's just everything's a closed loop, and everything is going to happen exactly the way it's going to happen because it lines up with chaos theory a little bit better. In that, like, even if you're trying to be unpredictable, it's actually part of
It's part
you
of the
being
grand
predictable.
design anyway.
Yeah, and then it's the whole game of like, did someone design this? Like, what the? But you know, our
Maybe.
God could just be a higher alien species, and this is all like a fucking simulation. So who knows?
No, I was just going to say,
You know?
simulation hypothesis is like such a fun concept. If I believe it more than I do like the idea of it is in a sense like
Yeah.
a religion. It's the idea of like a higher
simulation
being.
theory.
I also have simulation theory in my book.
Yes.
On one of my pages.
such a great topic.
It's so fun though, because also there's no way we'll ever know unless they reveal themselves to us. And like ultimately, what are you gonna do? Like are you gonna change anything? No. Like what ultimately changes? If you know that this was like The Sims and there's a grand design. I love The Sims, by the way, back in the day. But like, how are you going to change anything? You can't. So,
Yeah.
But I think the simulation idea is so fascinating. And the likelihood it is what is real is higher, statistically speaking, than
it's
not.
50-50.
Yeah.
It's
more than that.
Mathematicians like to say it's 50-50.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's essentially a coin toss. But
Yeah,
the thing that I love about it is define God from like not like a biological standpoint, but what is the difference between God and an alien?
One that's
like a higher form alien.
that is similar. There isn't one.
Because an alien is just somebody not born on Earth.
Yeah.
And if you created Earth and you're not born there, so you're not human.
Yeah.
So you're an alien.
Yeah, so you're an alien. So God is an alien.
God could just be like a higher form alien.
Sure.
That's just created this universe because they're bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is
And
the
then-
stuff that I'm like,
No,
going to bed
but
trying to-
also it's like it's better in that way because okay, the way for a lot of religions see God is that it's like he's this like he or she or whatever is this like very peaceful,
benevolent.
Yes, right?
But
And
what if
then
you're just bored?
right, but then and then they
Disinterested.
can't seem to understand how there's evil in the world, and they're like, we just don't understand God. But if you're like, no, it's like this teenage super alien who just made our game, then you can be like, yeah, it makes sense that there's evil in this world because, and then we don't have to put so much pressure on God to be, why aren't you solving our problems? It's
Maybe
like,
they made it and just pieced
design-
out.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna let this run. I have another simulation of this planet over here or this universe.
I think it's probably a
So-
universe thing.
That would be with and like the amount of processing power. There's so many little like hints. It's like, okay, why do we have laws of physics? Why is the speed of light the
So maxed out.
yeah? Why is
Yeah.
it the limit? Why do we even have that? Why do we have Planck length or Planck time? Why do we have building blocks? Why does it take light so much time? Well, speed of light to get to our telescope. It's almost like that part of the universe
made the
has
laws?
to render.
Who
Why
made the-
even
yeah.
have laws? So it almost seems like it's been designed. Even like we
Yeah.
brought a Mandela effect. You know, people throw that in there as like or
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
why do we have that? Why do we have deja vu? Deja
Yeah.
vu is an insane feeling. Even that one, I'm like, that has to
I
mean
came up with something for that in my book.
Oh, fun.
That was it's basically a computer glitch and your brain.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So my idea would be if you are in a simulation and it like anytime you update anything, there's like a very quick micro glitch
Sure.
or a long one. And so if the human brain doesn't have input data
Mm-hmm.
for a split second, what if it just repeats the thing that just happened
Yeah.
to compensate for the gap? And that was what I made, deja vu.
No, which I love because the feeling of it is insane. You're like, I've literally experienced this exact same thing before.
But the trick is, can you push it to know what's coming right after? Because then you really found something.
yeah, that's so true.
Do you ever think about what came before this universe, and then you just like crash out?
prior to the Big Bang?
Yeah, prior to it all, whatever you consider this, just
My science mind goes to Big Bang.
but
So
before that.
prior to that, well, this is kind of where Hinduism comes in handy because it believes that it's done this many
So you
times.
lean towards religion because it's like, what do you do when you reach those points where you're like, what the fuck came before this?
It's I know, or even
Where do
like
you go?
what I just give up. I go to bed.
That cramp. Do you get that cramp in your head?
yeah, and
Yeah.
you literally just like you just
Can't.
stop.
Yeah.
Your .exe is like having to fucking reset and shit.
In
But I
religion, the
love
question
it.
is what came before God. That's what they think about.
Right. What came before? I thought they say that
No.
he or she is like existed eternally.
Yeah, but every kid in Catholic school
Mm-hmm.
that's a little game we all played with each other. What came before God? And then you would just like watch their brains just like fucking explode.
But see, even that question though is so limiting just because our species is only able to see linearly in time.
Yeah.
Feel time linearly, I should say. But if you look at time from like another dimension, then it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So we're even limiting ourselves by thinking
That's a good
that
point.
way.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I mean, how else can we think? We can't think otherwise. So we're going to look at it in that way.
My brain just did it. That little cram where you're
Yeah,
like,
just like, hold on, I gotta reset. That's no,
like,
absolutely.
what came before?
Yeah, no, for me, because I'm obsessed with quantum immortality, I think deja vu is.
Oh, it's a cop out. That's such
It's
a
like,
cop
oh,
out.
that's from my previous timeline. Got it. I'm just like
Yeah.
experiencing like a quick bridge between what had happened before I died, and I hopped into this timeline. Yeah, good times. But no, chaos theory, it's fascinating. Just
But anyway, chaos theory.
Introducing this like tiny little variable and the effects it could have. So like time from now, it's just. Who knows? Maybe AI will get better at seeing those patterns than we do.
That's the thing is that AI, it's going to look like it's predicting the future, but it's actually, like, I do think AI, once it hones in, it can predict the weather probably a bit better out than we can right now. Because the models will tighten up and improve. We'll have more data points. We'll have bigger processing units, locations or whatever. So it's going to be a lot better. But it's still not technically cracking chaos theory. Cracking chaos theory would be predicting the weather August 3rd, 2095.
Right.
That would be like cracking it.
Yeah.
But right now it's just AI will probably be able to do it maybe like a month out.
Which is cool.
Which is
really
still
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It depends on the location. Like us predicting the weather a month out, pretty easy. New England, not so much.
Yeah.
You know, they can't even predict the weather 20 minutes out. So
let's say we crack chaos theory. We can predict the weather August 2099. What benefit does that even serve? Like, why even care? Why even bother?
Because it's just one example. It would be cracking pretty much any dynamic system.
But here's the thing. Like, what we're saying is that it's not like by knowing that we're changing anything along the way, right?
Well, people will try.
People will try.
And it won't even matter.
But it won't matter.
No.
So because
their brains will be part of it.
But that's the point. It's like, so then who gives a fuck ultimately? Why do we care what this 3-star system over there is going to do a million from now?
Because
like,
that's the curiosity, right? That's like people being driven by curiosity to solve it because they want to know the future. They want to know when they're going to die. They
want to fit shit into their neat little box. And then I'm like, but just let it be.
I mean, chaos theory may not be crackable or whatever. Yeah. Like, who knows, right? It's just a theory right now. I use that term lightly in the way that I just said it. But I hate having to break down the difference between like hypothesis, theory,
oh my God,
conjecture.
I do it once a quarter on my social media.
I hate doing it.
I
don't even bother. I'm just like, chaos theory, use it as you will.
No, for sure. That's why I even I was like, simulation hypothesis.
Oh, that's because
right.
I'm tired it is supposed to be hypothesis.
Yeah, because there's no way to test for this shit. So even like when I posted the quantum immortality clip as like the clip last week for episode 3 or whatever or 2, someone was like, I don't get this, or this isn't
we don't
about
either.
Theory. They're like, this theory doesn't make sense. I'm like, that's why it's not a theory. It's just a fun speculation.
Yeah.
Like, let's start distinguishing these things in our heads.
I don't even do it. I know it's awful because like
I know what I'm used
to
it too. Like you know the difference inherently. So
I've had so many people jump down my throat. I'm like, you have to explain all these differences. I'm like, they're not real. I'm not explaining any of them.
No, that's right. Like they're not testable. Ultimately.
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
It's just a hypothesis based on like shit that we see.
At least dimensions, that one we can do. Like we can do a higher dimensional game if you want, but I can't do multiverse.
No, there's how would we?
People think they're the same things.
Dimensions and multiverse.
They think all that stuff is like the same thing, and I'm like, because like you'll see it in sci-fi stuff sometimes. Back in the day,
they interchange the terms.
Yeah, and they'll be like, it's a different dimension. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
it's not different. It's higher or lower.
Yeah, right.
So that's very frustrating.
Interesting. I wonder. Okay, I swear this.
And then there's time, which is a whole thing.
Yeah, I wonder why those words became interchangeable. I swear to God, and I'm not going to name the name because I don't want to throw him under the bus if he did say it, and I might be making it up. I think there's a theoretical quantum physicist out there who does use those words interchangeably.
Oh, really?
And that might be where the confusion comes from. I will fact check this, guys.
I was like,
because I have one of his books, and I wonder.
But dimensions are very critical in
mathematics. But I found this interesting as I've like met a lot of experts. Like I told you, that guy who worked at LIGO before.
Oh yeah.
And when he was giving his presentation, there were a couple of facts that he got wrong. I'm not, and just like very basic, just very basic things. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, as a science communicator, the level of due diligence I will go through to make sure every fucking thing is within my capacity that I can get right.
Yeah.
But then the experts who are the ones doing the research, they'll like forget shit and make it up on the spot all the time. And I'm like, why do I stress myself out then? And it's very basic things that does not negate his work at all. It was just like the first gravitational waves we had discovered came from 2 black holes merging. And I'm going to get it wrong. It's like 1.3 billion light years away. Okay. He had just given a different figure. And he said like hundreds of millions of light years. And I'm like, no, but that's not right. But I'm not going to correct him. It's such a stupid little fact. But it's funny to see how they don't care. And yet I get gray hairs because I'm like, I need to make sure I get.
Because we get eviscerated.
Yes.
But for being even like slightly wrong or for being right. And
they think we're wrong anyway.
And I'm just like, okay.
So that's why maybe there's a little bit of negligence in the words being used, because at that level, they don't care. They're like, dimension, multiverse, whatever. That's not the point. But you're right, though, that things should be distinguished better even at a higher level.
Oh, it's a learning curve, I think, for all of us to get the terms correct.
And as we've said, we're kind of pioneering this world we're in of like science communication.
But on social media.
On social media, where we are directly interacting with followers and fans in real time. So we have to, there's more pressure on us.
I only interact when I'm fucking with people.
My followers are mostly good to me, so I like to feed off their positivity.
That's nice. Yeah. I think a lot of people follow me just to give me shit.
That's fascinating.
But, I mean, it's not as bad anymore because I've blocked probably thousands of accounts.
Sure.
Over the course of the last few years, but and then their friends won't see, because the algorithm is very like, what are your friends watching? I'm going to show you the same thing. And so if you block the right group, you can usually escape it. But I do, whenever I go viral, which is a few times a month, it is always a nightmare. Like when I was texting you with that picture.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I don't even want to mention to you guys what was happening in my DMs, but I was just ready to blow my fucking brains out.
Especially when the intention is always good.
They just
jump down your throat. Yeah, you got to adopt some stoicism. You can't control what other people do, your reaction. Easier said than done, though, guys. But like, holy fuck, y'all need to relax on social media. We're trying our best here.
I have never had certain people who have no business getting credit for things getting on my case for not crediting them. In what universe would I credit, not the photographer, the skydiver who's in it, but like other layers of it where I'm like, in what fucking universe would you get credit for this photograph?
Yeah.
I had people just blowing up my fucking DMs. It was just crazy. If it was comments, I would have never seen it. But when it's a DM, you get like a hey, can you look at this? And I was just like...
And you can't help but see some of that shit.
I was so excited about that picture, and everybody just sucked the fun fucking right out of it. And I was like...
I'm still not even understanding, to be honest, because you did credit them.
I sent her the picture.
I don't get it.
I was like... This is real.
Get it. And and I'm sorry, but like followers or whoever can't be more upset than the victims. My friend who was the photographer didn't even give a fuck. But yet people are like,
it got to the point where the skydiver, I can't remember his name, but he was like, I don't know if you care, I don't care, but here's also the pilot if this is an issue. Like he was very like, I don't know what's going on. And so I just tagged the pilot too, because I was like, fuck it.
I'm gonna everybody.
I'm going to tire the dude who filled the tank up.
Shit.
The driver who brought the Uber driver who brought them to the
desert.
At that point I was like, are you, in what fucking world would I'm
gonna tag their moms for giving birth to them so this picture could one day exist.
Got to a ridiculous fucking level.
That's crazy. Like think of a science communicator like Bill Nye who's been doing this for decades, but it's a disconnect. You don't get to fucking like message him and shoot like comment on his shit. Now you do. But so it's nuts the things people are willing to just be so shitty about because they're not doing it to your face.
I will say out of the 3 years that I've been doing this, there's probably 2 or 3 videos that I straight up took down because there was one section that I either worded so fucking terribly that it meant something else that I didn't realize when I was editing it, or I was straight up wrong. There was one video I was straight up wrong, and I was like, why the fuck did I think that? But out of the 3 years,
then we gotta learn.
Where I'm like doing a video every other day. There's only been one video where I was straight up fucking wrong, and I took it down. I was like, damn it. And luckily nobody really caught it.
Sure.
It did do a little well, but not like super well. Yeah. But yeah, it was just crazy. And I was like, oh shit. But come on. Out of 3 years, guys.
I know. Trying the best. Ultimately, just here to inspire others. Like, give me a break.
The quantum world I've like learned. I've just like, I'll do quantum computers. I do like doing videos on that. But after talking to a couple of my friends who work in quantum mechanics, and the struggle they have to explain things and like pick the right words, and then I've been on calls with them where they argue with each other,
right?
And then I'm like, oh fuck this, I don't even want to touch this.
No, they're just fighting each other at this point.
Well, not like bad, but just like they were disagreeing on so much, and I'm like, who the fuck am I now to make a video on this? Because like they don't even agree, and like quantum computers, whatever, make a video because I like doing tech stuff, but I have actually not made like a legitimate quantum physics video in forever because I'm like, don't think it's worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like magic.
I know it kind of is.
And like,
yeah,
every time I think I understand it, there's like a new piece of information that comes out that goes, LOJK, no, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And I was just like, fuck it.
But I'm not going to get it right, but that's like the famous saying. It's like, something. Okay, well, I shouldn't even bother because I don't know what it was. But
I'll put it up here.
Yeah, correct this with the graphic. But
Yeah.
it's something like if you think you know quantum mechanics, you don't, or like if you don't think you know it, you're right.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm not saying ultimately nobody knows, but even they aren't sure. It's
They're
such
arguing.
an interesting world. But then at the same time, like we shouldn't be afraid to talk about it to the best of our ability, even if we're wrong.
I'm straight up afraid to talk about it. Yeah, I won't do it
definitely
anymore.
have before. No one, at least so far, has come at me, but or maybe they just.
That's because the guy who always comes after me likes you. Probably wants to bone you.
I think last year or the year before, whenever I did go after Terrence Howard for his bullshit on Joe Rogan.
I did that too.
That was just nonsense.
It was,
But he was also a fucking asshole on that podcast.
Was he?
He was just such a dick to like the STEM world and like all this shit. He was like actually god complex, scary level of narcissism.
Have you seen Neil deGrasse Tyson and what he actually responded with in writing to?
I don't remember if I did.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it's new, but it's been circulating at least on my feed of Neil deGrasse Tyson's holding up the paper of what he actually sent, like in writing, to Terrence Howard of like, here's, if you want to get peer reviewed, here's how it goes. And he peer reviewed it and, tore it to shit because it wasn't good.
It was all, it wasn't nonsense. It wasn't even just good. He made shit up.
There were fundamental laws of mathematics he just ignored.
And he literally made up terms and like just.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that part, but
word blurbing things into a sentence. It was nonsense. I don't watch it all, to be fair, but just absolute nonsense.
To me, that was somebody, from what I understand, he went to engineering. He was in school for engineering for 3 years and then dropped out or something like that. Like, 3 years is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
You get past your gen eds and you get into like the crux of it your junior year. So for sure, he probably took some pretty advanced courses. But that is like a prime example of you learn a little bit of something highly specialized and you think you know everything about it.
Everything.
And it's like, oh no, you didn't get far enough, man, for this one.
No.
And not to mention that paper was mathematics and that wasn't his field. So you have no business writing
talking about
a paper about mathematics when you're actually in engineering.
Yeah, but we're navigating this world and it's absolutely insane. But just know, guys, we are trying our best.
We're trying.
This is subjects that we love.
Do you think there's like a playbook here? There's nothing.
No.
We're just like winging
figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
And if ultimately we've inspired you to take an interest in these subjects, we've done our job.
Yeah. Google it or AI.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.